Now at 5, breaking news topping Action 2 News tonight. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers putting pen to paper, making a commitment to the Packers. We hear from number 12 and fans tonight as he becomes the highest paid player in the NFL.
Plus, we're getting a clearer picture tonight of the damage caused by yesterday's severe storms. Tornadoes confirmed tonight in the area as communities begin to pick up the pieces.
From WBAY TV, coverage you can count on. Action 2 News at 5 starts now.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us. Packer fans know that he is the best player in the NFL, and today Aaron Rodgers is getting paid like the league's best player.
No doubt about it. The face of the franchise signing a 4-year contract extension that makes him the NFL's top paid player. Tonight we were hearing from the quarterback's thoughts about being a Packer through the age of 40.
Let's get right over to Dave Schroeder live in the newsroom with the details of the biggest contract in league history. Dave.
Well, 4 more years. It's a campaign slogan fit for a quarterback king. Rodgers had 2 years left on his old deal, and the new 4 more makes it a 6-year deal. The new money, $134 million, a record-breaking average of $33.5 million per season on the New Year's of the deal. Rodgers is now locked up through the 2023 season. He will turn 40 that December. The total money owed to Rodgers over the next 6 years is a staggering $175 million. And speaking of pay the man his money, ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting Rodgers gets $67 million this calendar year and $80 million by St. Patrick's Day next March. $103 million total in guarantees. That sets another record. We thought it was a little odd when Rodgers sat out the 3rd preseason game last week. The sides were likely close to hammering out this deal and wouldn't want any chance for injury to mess things up. Now, in the last hour, Rodgers posted on social media his excitement to start year number 14, knowing what his future is, and he talked about his growth while a Packer. Before going on to thank fans, the Packers, and his teammates, he closed by saying he's looking forward to making many, many more memories. Before the big Rodgers news, we already had big news in the morning, a trade involving Brett Hundley. We will have all the details on that later in sports.
Big day for the Packers, and today's big news has fans from near and far cheering.
There are high hopes. It will certainly be a good year for the green and gold. Aisha Morales continues our breaking news coverage tonight. She joins us live from Lambeau Field with more on that. Aisha.
Hey, Cami and Bill, as the news broke today, the Welcome Back Packers luncheon was going on inside the atrium here at Lambeau Field, and what was really neat about today is a lot of the fans inside hadn't heard the news yet, so we got nothing but raw reactions. And it all started with a grand entrance from Aaron Rodgers at the luncheon, introduced as Wyatt Earp in his cowboy getup from head to toe. We then made our way down to the Packers Pro Shop. I met Kathy Pershing from Northeast Wisconsin. She says she bleeds nothing but green and gold. It just so happens it's also her birthday, so hearing the news over that, it made her day. She says he's brought back the Bart Starr feeling, that hometown feeling. We also met some fans from Florida and New York who say they're happy for Rodgers.
You know, I'm a shareholder also, and it just makes me feel so proud that he really comes down to the level of where we are.
Especially with him getting in with the Brewers now and doing some of that with the Brewers. And I think it makes the town and the cities all get together, and, you know, it's really great.
I think we are going to have a stellar season this year. I just can't wait.
And after that, I posted the photo of Aaron Rodgers on social media. The comments from fans started to flood in. Some of those fans saying he's the greatest of all time and also saying he's a class act. We'll hear more from those fans as they have high hopes for the upcoming season. Live from Lambeau Field, Aisha Morales, Action 2 News.
Aisha, thank you. Just 24 hours ago, this was the scene for a large portion of northeast Wisconsin, either underwater or covered in debris, much of which still litters our area tonight.
And this afternoon, Governor Scott Walker declared a statewide state of emergency due to widespread damage. It's coming as the National Weather Service is confirming some of the damage was caused by tornadoes. It confirms an EF1 tornado destroyed a barn and damaged trees about 2.5 miles north of Kiel near the Calumet Manitowoc County line. 90-mile-per-hour winds from that storm also caused damage in New Holstein. An EF1 tornado also touched down between Brandon and Waupun near Alto and Fond du Lac County, packing winds at 100 miles per hour.
Nolan Blair now joins us live from Fond du Lac County in Waupun to give us an up-close view of the damage caused by the tornado there. Nolan.
Bill and Cammie, the viewers that were with us at 4 may have noticed the right side of the structure was still standing, but since then it's been torn down as they continue to pick up on this farm. The National Weather Service says the 100-mile-an-hour winds from the confirmed tornado has the strength to tear up structures like these. Our SkyView 2 drone gives an aerial view of the damage caused by the tornado. The National Weather Service explained its path like this.
Just on the other side of Highway 49, and then that moved across an area of corn that you can see is completely laid down, and then really unfortunately slammed into this farmstead.
Pebble Knolls dairy owner Dick Wetzel says this damage is devastating. Of his 600-plus cattle, 5 are dead and around 20 are injured. The rest were moved to other farms.
Just cleaning up the disaster, that's what it is. Total disaster. We lost basically three barns.
SkyView 2 shows the damage to those barns. The dairy owners say it won't stop them from rebuilding.
We'll get cleaned up and start over, I guess. That's our only option.
The National Weather Service is continuing to survey a wide area for tornado touchdowns. It says this powerful storm left damage from Juneau County all the way to Sheboygan.
Within that, there may be some embedded tornado circulations within that larger swath of straight line winds, but really a tremendous amount of damage across this area.
I spent time with an insurance group in the village of Brandon this afternoon. They told me that claims are pouring in as people deal with the damage from this storm. Reporting live in the town of Waupun, Nolan Blair, Action 2 News.
Nolan, thank you. The National Weather Service is still investigating other reports of tornadoes. Since this morning, it's been surveying this large area, which includes Fond du Lac, Marquette, Green Lake, and Sheboygan counties. Our severe weather specialist Brad Spackowitz tracked this storm system for hours yesterday, providing a step-by-step coverage as the storm unfolded. It gives us a larger perspective of what happens. Brad.
Well, that map that you just showed us, Bill, I thought was very interesting because it was a swath. It was a big swath from Marquette into Green Lake, Fond du Lac, and Sheboygan County. This is the radar imagery that I captured from yesterday, and we're going to put this into motion for you because the bottom line here is when you get these lines of storms with straight line winds, it's hard to spot tornadoes that become embedded in those lines. Is typically in these little notches. So here you are around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you've got the little notch right there into portions of Marquette County. Watch how it moves eastward. There it is again. Now that's roughly the time that we have the tornado touchdown there in Fond du Lac County. Meanwhile, notice there's another little notch developing up over here. Watch what happens with that one. It becomes the tornado near the Kiel and New Holstein area. So, again, it's really tough to spot these little notches as these storms, move through the area. But the bottom line is all along this line, there was a lot of damage with the winds associated with those thunderstorms. So fortunately, they were all out of here at 5:30. Now, these are 3-day rainfall totals, much of which fell just yesterday. But as you can see, the southern half of the viewing area, a lot of rain. 4 inches in Green Bay, 5, almost 6 at Appleton, a good 6 there at Appleton, almost 6 at Fond du Lac. We have many other communities listed for you at WBAY.com. So you might want to just head over there and see if you can see how much rain fell in your neighborhood. Again, that's at WBAY.com.
Thanks, Brad. Tuesday's storm caused widespread power outages as well, leaving thousands of customers in the dark. Crews have been working since yesterday, during the storm even, to restore power. As of this evening, more than 6,000 We Energies customers are still without power. Wisconsin Public Service reporting about 130 outages. Action 2 News will continue to follow new developments regarding these storms. We'll bring you that information as soon as it becomes available. In the meantime, you can find complete coverage on our website, WBAY.com.
For now, our conditions a bit cooler today, but we remain dry, at least for a few days anyway. Will we? Let's find out from our severe weather specialist, Brad Spackowitz in StormCenter 2. Brad.
That was quick. I guess I'm back again. So here you go. We have a little bit of sun between the clouds today. Notice those clouds are starting to thin across the area. So we're starting to get more breaks in there, and that trend will continue as the evening wears on. Temperatures right now, it is 72 at Wapaka. The rest of us mostly in the somewhat cool range of the 60s. In fact, only 62 right now at Lakewood. The other big change, big drop in the humidity right now. Dew points in that very comfortable range of mostly 50s across northeastern Wisconsin. So as your evening wears on, fewer and fewer clouds. We turn clear overnight. One possible problem with all the moisture from recent rains, maybe some patchy fog late tonight. We'll talk more about that. We'll also talk about our next storm chance right away. That's coming up with Pinpoint Predictor and Maine weather a little later on.
People in a Town of Harrison neighborhood are convinced they saw a miracle last night. After an agonizing 40 minutes, an 11-year-old boy swept away in floodwaters was found alive. New at 5, Emily Matesic spoke with a firefighter who rescued that child.
I'm calling because there is a little kid that we think got sucked down a drain by a construction site.
That 911 call from last night set off rescue operations in this new development off of Dusty Drive in the Town of Harrison. An 11-year-old boy playing with the caller's sons had been sucked into a drainage pipe.
He put his goggles on to go underwater to see what was there, and he didn't come back up.
The Calumet County Sheriff's Office, including its dive team, as well as the Town of Harrison Fire Department, responded. Dozens of people searched the area in less than ideal conditions.
When our officers arrived, there was at least 3 feet of water across the roadway that they had to wade through to get to this area, and it was still raining very, very hard at that time. Luckily, the rain had stopped for a very short period of time, which allowed the water to dissipate off that roadway.
As the water cleared, Wes Pompa, deputy chief with Harrison Fire Rescue, happened to be in the right place at the right time.
We were standing over top of a manhole cover, and I was looking down at the ground, and a finger poked out, and that's when everything started going.
The boy had traveled about 30 feet through the drainage pipe, finding an air pocket to survive. Pompa worked with others to pry open this manhole cover and rescue the child.
I pulled him out and I handed him off to the next guy who was standing there, and he was taken to the ambulance right away.
The boy's family declined to speak about what happened, still overcome with emotion. Everyone is just glad the scary situation had a happy ending.
This scenario could have played out a million different ways, but this one way, it turned out great.
In the Town of Harrison, Emily Matesic, Action 2 News.
With all of the moisture in the atmosphere from all of that rain recently and with light winds tonight, as you can see on Storm Center 2's Pinpoint Predictor, later on we'll get into some pockets of fog. This is early morning, somewhere between 6 and 7. Again, it's not widespread, it's not everywhere, but there could be some pockets in spots with visibilities less than 1 mile. So bear that in mind. You might need a little extra travel time, at least some of you, tomorrow morning.
In case you missed it at the top of the show, Aaron Rodgers signs a contract extension with the Packers worth a reported $33.5 million per year in new money. That's added to the 2 years left on Rodgers' old deal. Tip of the cap. It keeps Rodgers locked in until after his 40-year-old season in 2023. Rodgers' deal, the richest by any standard. Total money, average value, guarantees. This all in league history. He surpasses the $30 million per year that Matt Ryan is getting in Atlanta. Rodgers now owed more than $175 million in total over the next 6 years. You can add that to 137 he's already made, and that's a pretty nice chunk of change for number 12. Keep in mind, Brett Favre earned only $137 million his entire career. That's the same as basically what Rodgers has already made and will make on the new money portion of the new extension. Well, more big Packers quarterback news today as Deshaun Kaiser will back up Rodgers. General Manager Brian Gutekunst trading Brett Hundley to Seattle this morning. Ian Rappaport says Gutekunst got a 6th rounder in return. Hundley was a 5th-round pick back in 2015. He went 3-6 as a starter last year, but had another successful preseason this season, showing a lot of improvement. A very busy day and a lot of money for Aaron Rodgers.
Warriors are going crazy, all these millions of dollars.
Wouldn't you just like to see the bank account?
Yeah. And Favre only made only $137 million. Hey.
Darn, tough life.
We'll be back.